What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brent, and today we will be talking about 3 different 2 light setups that you can have in your bag to be pulled out and used at all times. I am joined today by the world famous, world renowned model Danielle, and we are very excited to get into today's content, so let's hop right in. All right, so the first lighting setup that we're gonna do for today is the key plus fill. My key light is going to be the light here on the left side of Danielle's face, and I have it set up in like a sort of a Rembrandt position where it's about 45 degrees off, and I have my fill light 45 degrees off to the right side. This will be a 4:1 lighting ratio. If you need to know more about lighting ratios, you can watch the video up here, but I'm using a large 7-foot umbrella on my key side, and on my fill side, I will be using a large 60-inch softbox. Let's get some test shots. So, Danielle, I'm gonna have you looking straight at me. Test the lights real quick, we're good to go. So with Danielle looking straight at me, with this 2 light setup, this is a 4:1, so we are getting a good amount of shadow on her on her right side. And with this setup, it's very versatile. So it allows your model to move around a lot and not really lose any type of focus or be too dramatic. So we're gonna get a couple shots now. Danielle, I'm gonna let you just move, okay? You can move the face from left to right, just to kind of show the people the versatility in this lighting setup. So here we go. 3, 2, and 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, nice, 3, 2, 2 more, 3, 2, last one. Let's take the face off this way. Yep, 3, 2. So as you can see, with comparing all of these shots, although we do have a nice amount of shadow on the right side, the model is still able to move around and we're still able to keep a lot of very good depth. And with this lighting setup, you also light the background pretty well. While you're not using a hair light to bring a ton of separation away from the background, it does still cast light because we're using 2 very large modifiers. So we're gonna hop into the second lighting setup. And now we are on to our second lighting setup, which is going to be cross lighting. As you can see, we have kept our original key light position, which is gonna be Rembrandt off to that 45 degree. However, I have swapped my 7-foot umbrella out for a 33-inch softbox with a grid attached, just so we can limit the amount of spill that's happening to our background. The other lighting change that we made is that we introduced a hair/rim light. And I put this softbox at 21 inches because I want it to be very, very direct. And what I'm looking for here is the middle of my softbox to line up with about the back quadrant of Danielle's head, so to speak, because I'm trying to give her a nice edge/rim. So let's get into some test shots to see how this lighting setup shines through. All right, Danielle, so we're just gonna get a few test shots here. The first one, I just want you looking straight at me, so let's keep it nice and simple. I'm gonna do a medium shot here. 3, 2. And as you all can see, we have immediately increased the amount of drama in these portraits. As you can see, on the left side, we are still casting a very nice highlight, but on the right side of her head, so the right side, back of her head, and now a little bit of her body, because we did make that softbox pretty small, we're getting a nice little rim. What the grids are doing is it's not allowing as much light onto our backdrop, so it's giving her a nice little vignette, right? It's kind of shaping her in the frame. Now what we're gonna do is get a few more test shots where she's doing a little bit of movement, so you can see how these lights affect her as she goes through her different poses. So Danielle, we're gonna click off 5 different shots. Each shot, I want a pretty different pose. So let's move the body from left to right as well as the face so they can see what the light is doing to your eyes. Let's get started here. 3, 2, 3, 2, nice, 3, 2, 3, 2, last one, 3, 2, perfect. So as you all can see, this lighting setup is amazing for having your model be in movement, because every single different move that she makes, it's gonna allow for a different light to shadow ratio. This is a 4:1 ratio based on the light ratios video that we made before, and so I did keep my fill light pretty shallow. Now, one thing to note when you're doing a rim light, I want to give this little tidbit. take note of the color of your model's hair. If your model has a darker hair, then you are able to use a little bit more of a powerful rim or hair light. But if you're shooting someone who, say, has blonde hair, or maybe they have light blue hair, you're not going to want to have this light up so high because it will blow out that hair and it's going to take away all of the detail that they have. We're going to move into lighting setup number 3. So our third and final lighting setup of the day is going to be clamshell lighting. And it is exactly as it is described. You have one light above and one light below. Our key light is now going to be moved directly in front of our model, and it's going to be slightly angled down. What I'm looking for here is a catch light in my model's eye, just to give that eye some life. And this light is going to be doing majority of the work. It's going to flat light her face, but it will miss under the nose shadows, under the chin. So in order to fill that in, we will use a light coming from below. This is a 2-to-1 ratio. So I have this light metered to f8, this light metered to f5.6. So let's take a test shot and see what that looks like. You're going to want to leave yourself a little bit of room here in between both lights just for you to shoot. And this is a headshot. So Danielle, you're going to be looking straight at me. So no angling at the moment. 3, 2. And what we're going to notice here with this first shot is an extremely evenly lit face. There's no shadows under the chin. There's no shadows under the nose. And you're also going to see how much life there is in those eyes, because with Danielle, we're getting 2 catch lights. So a catch light from the light down bottom and a catch light from the light up top. Here's how we can make this a little more unique, so to speak. Okay, so as you can now see, Danielle is locked up and we will not let her out. We have added 2 black V-flats on both sides of her to bring in some negative fill to really define out those cheekbones. And we brought them in pretty close because with this lighting setup, it is very well lit. So in order to see even a subtle bit of difference, we had to bring those V-flats in pretty close. So let's take a test shot and see what this makes as a difference. All right, Danielle, so we're gonna take a regular test shot. So you're just gonna be looking straight on at me. No deviation of the face. 3, 2, perfect. And what you're gonna notice here with this first test shot is that we are starting to chisel out the jawline. And while it is very subtle, it is very needed. This is how I would shoot this shot. With high key portraits, you aren't gonna really make them extremely dramatic, but it's the little subtleties that kind of bring out that pop in your image. So what we're gonna do now is have Danielle move and pose for 5 different clicks, just so you can see the versatility of this lighting setup. So Danielle, we're gonna take 5 shots. Each shot, a nice dramatic little different movement. I do like the introduction of hands, and let's get it. 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2. Nice. Do a couple where you're not looking at me for the last 2. Yep. 3, 2. Last one. 3, 2. Perfect. So with this lighting setup, while it is made for like beauty, headshots, things of that nature, bringing in those V-flats, what it also does is it helps the spread of light on the background as well. So it does kind of bring in just a tiny vignette around your subject to kind of help make them be the focal point. Having her pose through, you can see we get the double catch light in the eyes when she's looking at us, which gives those eyes extreme amounts of life. But even as she's turning from left to right, we still get a very even, solid exposure with no shadows under the chin and no shadows under the nose. That's clamshell lighting in a nutshell. All right, everyone, so that's gonna do it for 3 different 2-light setups that you should have in your bag. I wanna give a special shout out and thank you to the world famous Danielle. Danielle, what was your favorite lighting setup of the day?
I really like the second one, the cross lighting, because it brought out my muscles in the shadows.
Yeah.
And I liked it.
It definitely did, it definitely did. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Danielle, where can the people find you?
You can follow me on Instagram, Danielle Nicole, with 2 L's, 2 E's at the end.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to spell that, so I'm gonna put it down here for you.
Sorry.
Don't forget, again, like, share, comment, and subscribe. There's room for 2 to be locked up. You don't wanna be in there. All right, okay. Danielle, she gets a little crazy when she hasn't eaten. We'll catch you on the next video.
Bye.
All right, so.
You just imagine me fake clapping.
All right, lock in, lock in. All right, ready?